Hi there, gorgeous! Hope you're having a fabulous day. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I make videos like this usually on Mondays. When I miss a day, I tend to make it up the next day, like today. Mondays and Fridays, so if you'd like to be notified of new content in the future, please subscribe, and thank you if you do. Before I hop into the video, I'll address the hair. I used a diffuser today. Something new I wanted to try, and I'm loving the results. So if you're a curly girl and you haven't tried a diffuser, you must. Oh my gosh. Anyway, today I am sharing 8 different products with you that are foundation alternatives. It's summer, it's hot. We don't want to wear a lot of heavy stuff on our face, most of us anyway. I know I don't. And I tested this product out recently in a video from Stila. It was the One Step Correct, which was a skin tone correcting and brightening primer. And it's one of those products that you apply all by itself on the face, and I tested it out and it did a beautiful job evening out my skin tone, and it lasted all day too. So I was so happy with this one that I wanted to make a whole video testing out some others that have the same claims to them, both from drugstore and the high-end side. So I've conducted 8 wear tests for all the products I'm showing you here today. I'll show you how they apply up close, and I'll give you a full review for each one. So this is a best and worst of kind of video. By the way, before we get into the video, number 1, I have an oily complexion. Number 2, I tested a lot of these products 2 at a time. So I applied 1 to each side of my face to help speed up the wear tests. So when you see me applying it to one side and then showing that same side at the end of the day, that's what I'm doing. To set every single one of these, because I have to, I'm oily, I can't get away without doing that, I use the Coty Airspun Translucent Powder. So that was the common denominator for every single product that I'm showing you within today's video. So the first one that I tested out is from NYX's line. This is the one called Bear With Me. It looked like it was a relatively new release from the brand. The one that I'm showing you here is in the shade Pale Light. This one looks like skin in every aspect that our regular skin looks like with nothing on it. Not only does it disappear and you can't detect that you're wearing anything on your face after it has been blended in, but it evens out the complexion so beautifully, and it gives the skin a soft, luminous finish. So it's not completely matte, which I feel like sometimes, even though I prefer the matte look, it can look rather made up. So a luminous finish can be nice from time to time to give you a true skin-like appearance. It's very lightweight feeling also. Once you apply it, it doesn't feel like you're wearing anything at all, and it's so light and fresh on the face. Now this is one that I tested out for a total of 11 hours on the day that I wore it, and after that 11 hours, it did not move, it did not transfer, it looked just as beautiful as when I had first applied it. So I am giving this one 2 thumbs up. It has become a new favorite of mine, so if you're looking for a drugstore alternative to the Stila One Step Correct primer that I had talked about, I feel like this is a really excellent one to try. Second product that I tried out is from Bare Minerals. This is their Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream. This contains an SPF of 30. It has a beautiful instantaneous coverage on the skin, evens out the complexion beautifully. Again, very lightweight. It has a smooth, creamy consistency. It's one of those that is an absolute dream to work with, and it blends in so well on the skin. And even though I didn't see anything specifically mentioned about this, it did cover pores beautifully. It disguised them, diminished them. Couldn't even tell I had pores after I applied this. So really liked that about this product also. And I wore this one for 8 hours on the day that I was able to test it, and I could not believe, I was in disbelief, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be too when you see this wear test. It looked like I had just applied it. It had not moved. It was so beautiful on my skin. It was just flawless. And again, looked like skin, didn't look like I had anything on. So this is another one. Highly, highly, highly recommend to you. Very, very happy with it. And this next one comes from the brand Herborian. I think that's how you say it. And this is their CC Creme. This one contains an SPF of 25, comes out of the tube white, but promises to blend in with your skin tone. And it did in my case, but I mean, seriously, you could put anything white on my face and it probably would blend in. Let's be real here. Anyway, this one did blend into the skin really easily. It disappeared pretty quickly. It does even out the tone, and it does blur pores. And initially I did really like the finish with it, and I thought it was beautiful. On that day that I tested the Arborian one out, I wore it for a total of 10 hours, and I was really disappointed with what I saw in that wear test. And I'm hoping that it comes across on camera here, because I could see it when I looked up close in the mirror, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it. You could start to see the veins in my face, specifically on my jawline where it had worn away. And there were other parts of my face too where it had just disappeared, and it just didn't look as beautiful as when I had first applied it. It does have a luminous finish by the end of the day. It's not shiny at all. It's very manageable, and I'm not taking off points for that so much, but I really did not like that it just disappeared from my jawline completely. So this is not one that I was too happy about. Now, this next one is from Dr. Jart. Now this one is, we're gonna try the name. We'll probably butcher it, but forgive me. Cicapair, there we go. Tiger Grass Color Correcting Treatment. This has an SPF of 30 and is marketed to neutralize redness and protect skin. It's a very thick, rich cream, very concentrated. It's not at all what you might think that it is, so you don't need much for application. And with a very light layer of this initially applied onto the skin, I was a little hesitant to see how the green was going to perform. Now they say on the package that it will instantly transform itself once you apply it and it hits your skin. And that did happen. I saw it completely disappear. Even with that small amount being applied, it did diminish the look of the redness on my skin. Now this was the only product I applied that day. The only thing, like I said in the beginning, that I applied over the top of this was some of the Coty Airspun translucent powder to help set it. And by the end of the day, I wore this for a total of, how long did I wear this that day? I didn't write it down, but I want to say that was a 10-hour wear day, and you can see how beautiful this looked. It did not have any shine breakthrough whatsoever. Continuous color correcting, and the green did not break through either or come back on my skin. So I was really skeptical of this product. I thought when I first got it, oh, I don't know. I was very happily surprised with it. So I think if you struggle with redness and that's something that you want to diminish the look of without going with a really heavy product or doing a ton of steps like color correcting, concealer, foundation, and all that, this would be a really good one to try. Back to another drugstore product. The next one I have to share with you is from Physicians Formula, and this is their All Over Blur Super CC Cream. The shade that I'm showing you here is light medium. Now this one has an SPF of 30, very fluid consistency, which is typical for products with SPF in them. It's not always the case, but in this case it was. Now once I started applying this one, I felt like it was a little dark for me. I mean, I think you'll be able to tell on camera too. It just started to look dark. But I went ahead and ran with it because, I mean, let's face it, I'm not going anywhere these days, so I'm pretty sure my kids don't care. But despite that, I do feel like it covered the imperfections in my skin. It blurred everything beautifully. And despite my qualms about the color, I did like the finished look and how it blurred everything and smoothed out my skin tone. Now, after wearing this one for about 10 hours on the day that I was testing it, I was highly disappointed. It started to pull out dry patches on my face, and I'm pointing a couple of them out to you here, so hopefully that you can see them up close. One was right by my mouth. The other one was on the cheek area by my nose, where you could just see patches of dry skin, and it was very unflattering. So for me, the color match, especially with this being a light shade and how it performed after wearing it for 10 hours, this is not one that I personally was happy with and not one that I would wear again. But the next one I have to share with you is another one from the drugstore, and this is from Revlon. It's their Photo Ready Prime Plus. This is a brightening and skin tone evening makeup and skincare primer. That's the other thing I wanted to mention too. Within a lot of the products I'm sharing with you here today, a lot of them are not only makeup products, but they have skincare benefits in them also. So this one has lemon extract in it, and I will tell you that right off the bat, when you go to apply this, you can instantly smell the lemon in the formula, which really threw me for a loop because I hadn't read that before applying it. And when I started to apply it, I'm like, what is this lemon scent? It's really fresh and light, but it caught me off guard. It did help to even out the redness in my skin, and I do feel like it evened out other imperfections that I have also. it does not diminish the look of pores. So if you do want to blur your pores, you would probably need to add in a pore blurring primer with this product at the same time. And I thought the finish afterwards was completely beautiful. Again, you couldn't even tell I had anything on my skin. I love products like this. I'm going through a little bit of a phase right now, and this one was just beautiful. Now the best part is, after wearing this for 11 hours on the day that I was testing it, it was just, whoa, it looked beautiful. Nothing had moved, nothing had transferred. I didn't have any shine breakthrough. It just looked like skin. And so this is another one that I cannot recommend to you enough. And this next one is from a company called Lumene, I believe. This is their Invisible Instant Glow Fresh Skin Tint. It has a gel-like texture. Again, a very concentrated formula, so you do not need much for application, which is really nice. If you've ever tried any of the Chanel skincare products, this one has a very similar scent to it. It's like that. That's the best way I know how to describe it. For the price that I paid for this stuff, I was a little disappointed in it though, because it did not conceal redness on my skin as well as I had expected it to, even with 2 very light layers. But on the flip side, it did help to conceal my pores, and it did blur them out so you couldn't even tell that I had pores, which is nice. And it does leave the skin looking healthy, luminous, and I will tell you that my skin did feel softer after application. You could feel a noticeable difference with it. And this is one that is heavily infused with a lot of skincare benefits, and they talk all about that on their box here. I'm not going to go over all of it, but just know that that's partly, I feel like, what makes this as expensive as it is. And on the day that I tested this one out, I wore it for 8 hours, and it looked beautiful at the end of the day. And I wore it for an additional 3 hours past that 8-hour mark that I just showed you there, and it still looked gorgeous. I'm a little unhappy that it didn't help to conceal the redness on my skin, but with how soft my skin felt and how it blurred my pores, this is one that I would not mind pairing up with a color corrector if I felt like I needed to, but I just wanted to put it out there. It's not one that I thought wasn't worth it, because I feel like it was a pretty good product despite that little minor flaw. If you're looking for something that's going to do everything though, this would not be one to try. And the last one I have to share with you is one that I cannot pronounce, so again, you're gonna have to forgive me if I butcher this name. This is from the brand Kosas. We're gonna go with that. This is their tinted face oil, a very fluid consistency with this one, and very concentrated pigment here. You really don't need much for application. Now, this does a beautiful job of evening out the skin tone. It blurs pores. Very beautiful finish on the skin. No trouble whatsoever to blend it in. It looks like skin, and it does give a luminous finish after you're done applying it. And when I first applied it and I was finished, I was like, this is amazing. I love this stuff. But that is why we conduct wear tests. And after wearing this one for 10 hours, the coverage remained intact on my skin. It didn't move, it didn't transfer. That part looked really good. But I felt like it had a lot of shine breakthrough, unfortunately. Now here's the thing. I would wear this one with a primer in the future, and that's going to have to be the way that I wear it in the future, is to pair it up with a primer. And it does perform really well with a primer. I'm usually looking for products where I don't have to wear a primer with them, but this one is so good that I will. So if you don't mind wearing a primer with it, if you're oily, I think you would really enjoy it. So out of all the ones that I tried here for you today, my favorite, and I feel like the best of from this video, would have to be the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. Love, 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 hands down. And the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. These are 2 excellent choices if you're looking for something that gives you a skin-like finish, won't feel heavy on the face, and it's just very lightweight. I feel like you would love either one of these. The worst one that I feel like came out of this video, actually the 2 worst ones, are the ones from the Herborian brand. I did not like that one at all. And the Physicians Formula All Over Blur Super CC. So if you're interested in any of the products I shared with you here today, I'll have them listed and linked for you below in the description box. If you would like to see the Stila One Step Correct primer in action, I'll also have that video linked for you below. Someone had also mentioned when I initially reviewed this one that Amazon has a dupe which I will try to have linked in the description box. I have not personally tried it, but a couple people came back to me and said they did, and they really liked it, and it gave them very similar results to the way that Stila performs. So keep that in mind. I think it's half the price of the Stila one too. Let me know what you thought, what your favorites were out of this video. If you've tried any products like this that you have grown to love, would love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.